If you watch the start of the last podcast, it shows me laughing because
Yeah.
you can't hear it when you're listening to the podcast as a viewer, but there's this automated American female voice going, "This video is being recorded." That kind of seductive tone anytime you press the record button.
Yeah, they always speak real slow as well.
Yeah.
Enunciate.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Anyway, welcome back. For any of you who saw the first podcast, I really appreciate it. I've been thinking about a name. I'm going to call this podcast Outspoken. I think that's a good name. I was walking down Fifth Avenue here in Playa Carmen a few days ago, and I was like, hey, Outspoken, that sounds like a good name. I'm joined here by my very good friend, Aaron Phelan, all the way from Abbeyleix, County Laois, Ireland. Aaron, how you doing?
On the phone. On the phone. What's the story? How are you getting on?
Man, I appreciate your time. I know you're very busy these days.
I appreciate you having me on, man. It's an honor.
Yeah,
it's great to be part of
hey,
Friends on the Journey.
What are you drinking there?
That is Jameson Crested. I was on standard Jameson, but I came up to bed and I have a bottle of Jameson Crested in the bedroom, so I said, right, that's a better shout. So it saves me having to go back downstairs.
I've never had anything other than original Jameson. I've never had any like castmates. What's the other one? Black.
You need to expand your horizons.
Crested, like.
Yeah, Crested's really good. It's a kind of, there's more kick in it, but it's a better flavor, I think. First time I tried it, it was a bit strong. For me, it was a little bit hard on the palate. Could have been just the night that was in it, but definitely no, I love it now. Like, it's savage. I got a bottle of it and I had my first glass and thought, right, that's really strong. And then I had another glass and another glass and another glass, and it keeps going on. And then it just gets easier. And by the time the end of the bottle comes, you're praying for the next one. So
yeah, I'd say it gets easier. But I wouldn't say you'd be any state to be praying at the end of that bottle, man. What is it, 40%?
Tell you now. Hold on, I'll have a look. Give it a look. Yeah, 40%. 700 bill, 40%.
Yeah. Man, when I come back, I'm going to bring you over some mezcal.
What is mezcal, man?
I think I told you about it before. It's very similar to tequila.
Oh, yeah.
Tequila is actually a type of mezcal. Mezcal, I don't know about the mechanics of it, but it's agave, isn't it? The agave plant.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's a different type of agave or something, but it's got a different taste, a little bit more flavor, a little bit less burn.
I know, I like tequila. That's about as far as it goes.
You'll love it.
Yeah. Love it as much as the Four Loko.
Man, Four Lokos in Ireland now.
What?
They've
Where?
Four Loko now. Yeah, my friend sent me a photo. They've Four Loko in, I think it might be Tesco or Marks and Spencer's. I'm not sure. But
I'll have to go looking.
It's a smaller can and it's only 8%. It's not 12%, 14%. So like, you may as well not get it.
No, rip off.
They have Four Loko here as well, man. But it's 12%, but it's small. You need to go to America.
Yeah, man. That Four Loko you brought back from America is kick-ass.
It's like vodka Red Bull.
Yeah.
In a can, and not enough Red Bull in it, and it's like almost a liter. And it costs like $3. Stupid.
Rocket fuel, man. It's rocket fuel. Stupid. That's what it is. Like pure rocket fuel. Pure rocket fuel.
Fucking fire. Anyway, listen.
Yeah, go on, Kate.
Man, this has been the greatest introduction out of my two podcasts that I've had so far. Listen, Aaron, tell me. I think that was always going to happen, though, man. Like we always talk shit, don't we?
Absolutely. Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Aaron Phelan. Who is he?
Aaron Phelan. John Joe. I don't really know. Kind of asking myself the same question for the last, I don't know how many years. In terms of professionally, I'm a barber, I play a bit of music, co-owner of Kencho, which is our hair product brand. You can check it out, kencho.ie. We sell 3 primary products, going to expand the market this year because we have to. But yeah, we sell 3 primary products. That's Kencho, it's a product brand. Co-owner of Caveman Barbers. Caveman Barbers based in Portlaoise. Like, I can't say enough about it. It's the first endeavor that I took with Aaron Hyland, cousin of mine, and it's been, to be honest with you, it changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. It gave me a stepping stone to do some stuff that I never thought I'd have the chance to do. So we started with Caveman Barbers. Then we went, myself and Aaron started Kensho, which is our product company. And our latest venture is Rude Boys, which is the next best thing. It's the big kind of news that's in it. So Rude Boys is our new brand of barbershops, which are going to be invading the country for the next couple of years, and then going to be invading everywhere else.
Is that the plan?
Absolutely.
Man, that's lethal. That's
absolutely.
Lethal.
I spent about 2 hours.
Franchise?
Yeah, you see, we're going to do a franchise, but in a way that nobody else has ever done it before.
Okay.
Franchise, like in essence, what franchising is, I don't know, now it could be wrong. You can correct me. But generally, what franchising is, you develop a brand, and people see that brand and they want to make money because that brand is guaranteed to make money. I'm not going to mention anything in case. For when this blows up, I don't want to get myself in trouble, so I'm not going to mention any names. But generally, what people do is they build a brand, build a name, and then they allow other people to use their name and basically sell themselves out for it. Once somebody pays enough money annually, they get to use that name. They get to go and be that franchise. It doesn't matter about quality. Certainly in our line of work, it's not about quality when it gets to a lot of franchising. Whereas we'll be personally handling everything to do with all the shops from the start. We'll be building the brand from the start. Any shop that we decide to open, or any of our managers and owners or anything like that in the future, we'll all be working through them as well. So it's just guaranteed quality.
Yeah, I was rather just than say that you want to be able to maintain the quality and make sure that you're overseeing everything.
Absolutely. Like if I have some kind of a barbershop that's 10,000 miles away from me, or I need to guarantee that if somebody walks in there, they're going to get the same top class quality as what they're going to get if they walk into me or Aaron in the shop, or any of the other guys we have working for us at the minute. Like, there has to be quality control. Quality control is what's going to guarantee. You look at any of the big franchises, it's all quality control. They do the same, served, like particularly food. Food is a very easy one to use.
McDonald's, look at it.
McDonald's, you go into any McDonald's, you're nearly guaranteed to get the same thing. So we want the same idea, same teaching, same education path, same route to success for all of the shops. In so much as they're as similar and as top quality as we can possibly get them. Like we don't want the situation to arise where you can just buy into Rude Boys. Just buy the name and stick it above your shop and then do whatever you like. Every single person will be answerable to us and us alone for how well the shop is doing, how well the customer service is, how well the cuts are going. So that's the newest thing. Just even we're actually opening the first Rude Boys Kilkenny. So if you want to follow that, it's Rude Boys _Kilkenny. And on top of that, then you can follow the Rude Boys _Collective, which is collectively everything that we're going to be doing, because we're going to open a tattoo shop upstairs in that Rude Boys as well. So
will the tattoo shop also be called Rude Boys?
It will be called Crybaby.
Are you coming up with that name as well?
Exclusive, yeah.
Man, where are you coming up? That's I'll ask you that in a second about the names. But yeah, no, I'll ask you right now. The names for these brands, I think, are unreal. And I'm, you know me, I'm not a bullshitter. I'm not just saying that because you're my friend.
I know.
Kensho, Rude Boys, now Crybaby. Can you just walk me through quickly? Like, what does Kensho mean, first of all?
Kensho is a Japanese word that means to see one's true self.
Okay, what's the inspiration behind? How did you guys come up with that? How did you find that out?
To be honest, right, like we tell all the clients in work that we had this mad story of how we found it, and it normally involves me or Aaron making up stories on the spot about how it came about in the most crazy stuff. But realistically, we Googled cool words, and that just came up. Yeah, we Googled. Now look, it's not like we Googled cool words and we went with the first thing that came up. We Googled cool words or words with a different meaning or whatever, and we spent about an hour and a half, because we had an hour and a half in shop on just looking down through them, and it came down to Kensho, or another word called Kairos, which is actually a Greek word.
Yeah, sounds
as well.
Greek. Man, you should have called it gyros.
Gyros, chicken gyros.
Have you had a gyros before?
No, I actually, you know what it is? They're starting to become a thing. They're trending everywhere. I see them everywhere.
Man, in Ireland?
I haven't had it yet.
In Ireland?
Yeah, it's not even in Ireland. It's more TikTok and Instagram, man.
Yeah, they're like a Greek taco.
You see, my TikTok algorithm knows I'm weak. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
It knows I'm
we're
weak.
gonna move on before you start talking about TikTok. Okay, so Rude Boys. Again,
Yeah,
I
man.
know you've mentioned that name for a while. When I was back in Ireland, you were throwing that name around as well. You're throwing that
Yeah.
logo around as well. Uh,
Yeah.
but man,
Thank
Rude
God the
Boys.
logo.
Again, I think it's a lethal name. Where's the inspiration for that one?
I have absolutely no idea. To be honest with you, the earliest memory I have of that is that Rihanna song, with
Yeah,
like literally just Rude Boy,
exactly.
right?
That's what I thought about.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it for ages and ages, and then I Googled it. I was like, what is a rude boy? And then if you Google it, it comes up as, I think it's Jamaican slang for kind of a ruffian for all the world. But I don't know. I just think it's cool. I just think I think it speaks for itself in a lot of ways.
They just sound like Kensho sounds like a brand. Rude Boy sounds like a brand. Crybaby sounds like a brand. Like you could turn that, but that gives you room as well because they're not specifically attached to a certain industry. Like if you say Rude Boy, nobody's gonna automatically think, oh, that's barbering.
Yeah.
Same with Kensho, same with Crybaby. So you have room now to peel off if you want to diversify into a different industry with those brands. You can do so.
See, the thing with that is, and in fairness, I'm just going to give a shout on that. The Crybaby tattoo shop is totally Aaron's idea.
Okay.
Like the tattoo shop collectively was probably our idea, but the Crybaby name is actually Aaron's idea. So Aaron Hyland came up with that. And I thought it was class. As I kind of said to him, you know what, it'd be tattoo and piercing. And you know yourself, Crybaby, tattoo, piercing. I'm not going to lie to you, it hurts. Do you know what I mean? It sucks. Yeah. It's great afterwards, but it sucks getting it done.
I got a tattoo out here.
You did, yeah. That is pure lies.
I'll show you when I get home. I'll show you
You're too weak. You're too weak.
I'll show you when I get home. Anyway,
swear now you have a tattoo.
No, I don't do swearing, man. I'm not religious.
He's lying. He's pure lying. He's pure lying.
Anyway, what were you saying?
Sorry. Like the thing is as well, with all of these names that we're doing, particularly Rude Boys, it's not about creating like a barbershop. It's about creating cultures. So the fact that we have and communities, the fact that we have a tattoo shop and a barbershop all into one, and the clientele that we like to take in and the vibe we give out in shop, you're not just creating yourself a clientele, you're creating a community of people who support you and drive you as a shop. You're talking about the people who are literally going to support you just because they love what you're about. You're true supporters. And you're building this massive, massive community of those people. And then when I talk about culture, the reason the community grows is because the culture of the shop is what they're about. It's about bringing that kind of old school atmosphere of barbershops and just social clubs as well. I hesitate to say that because everybody's kind of making these social clubs at the minute.
Social clubs, like what? Like Clubhouse?
Yeah. So it's weird. Like an awful lot of tattoo shops, and I'm not naming anybody. I don't mean it derogatorily, like, but an awful lot of people are trying to capture this thing. They're trying to capture this thing of a vibe. This is kind of the going thing at the minute, is a vibe for a shop, a vibe for a community, a vibe. And the way I always see that is it's not a vibe, it's culture. It's about people who are like-minded, people who appreciate the same things. And some people who can equally appreciate some of the stuff you like and then hate other stuff that you're into. But you can find common ground with those people. And that's where I think culture comes in. You're creating a culture. You're creating this community of people who share the culture that you share the mindset that you share the same kind of ideals. They're about what you're about. And when you have that kind of community behind you, you just drive yourself forward constantly. Do you know?
Yeah.
Rather than kind of doing your in and out, your conveyor belt kind of barbershop. Barbershops, all kinds of different barbershops, and just to put that out, that's a lot of barbershops vibe. It's not ours. It's not what we're about. We don't want to be doing the conveyor belt system. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It just means it's not what we're into. And because that's not what we're into, our clients aren't into that either. And that's why we're doing so well, is because we have clients who appreciate what we do. Like within our shop, and I probably say, I don't mean to sound like I'm going on about what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean?
Man, that's why we're here. That's why we're here.
I know, yeah, but I don't like really talking about it. Like,
fire away.
Within our shop, you get a 45-minute slot. It doesn't matter. Like within our shop ourselves, you either get, depending on who's doing your hair, you can get a half an hour slot or a 45-minute slot. That's all dependent on stylist. If a lot of stylists can give the same service, the same quality that we do in half an hour. Myself and Aaron, because we're the owners, like to give 45 minutes because we know an awful lot of our clients very, very personally now. So we just like to have that extra 15 minutes to have a chat or whatever, or you know yourself, fart around a bit.
Man, I love being in that shop, but I love getting my hair cut. Even before you became a barber, man, I used to always love getting my hair cut.
It's great.
The experience of being in the barbershop.
Yeah.
I like the actual experience of getting it cut as well. I mean, it feels nice,
Yeah.
doesn't it? But like in your shop, when I was in Caveman, like that is a really, really high quality barbershop, man. And obviously, you and I know each other very well. So it is not just a haircut, you're going in for an experience as well.
This is it. It's with our shop, we want everybody to be involved. So obviously we do appointment only at the minute. If someone comes in and we have space free, we take them. It's not like if you don't make the appointment prior to the day, you don't get seen. If we have space, we take you. But the reason we do that is realistically, you're going to have maybe 6 people in the shop total because the current shop is a 3-share shop. So you got 6 people in the shop. And it's not about always having the thing of it's me and you personally. It's about everybody being able to chat to each other. And coming back to that thing, culture, community as well. If you come in and you're sitting in my chair and the guy beside you is bantering about soccer or he's bantering about gaming or he's bantering about like anything that you could possibly banter about, skateboarding, clothes brands, shoes, cars, we literally run the gauntlet with the amount of different topics that we talk about daily. And I can have a dude in my chair and Aaron can have a dude in his chair. And all of a sudden now we're turning the dudes to face each other because they're talking to each other about something they're passionate about. And me and Aaron are involved in conversation as well. And then we can switch it the other way because Jay's after been upgraded since you were here last as well. Jay's got his own chair now. So Jay's guys are talking to us about it and the whole shop is having this crack. And then equally, if the thing that my client has something personal that they want to talk to me about, because they're kind of mad into that side of things as well, the kind of mental health side of things with barbering. If they have something they want to talk to me about personally, we can switch the chair back to the mirror and just say, okay, man, what's the story? What's going on in your life?
No way. Well, that's awesome.
It's great. It's fantastic.
I never even thought about that because obviously you become very close with, if you're getting the same barber every single time you get a haircut, you're going in, twice a month, you become close to them over time, you become friends. And I never thought about that. They're not just clients, man. They're your friends.
But this is it. You're searching for, some clients want that kind of, what do you call it, vacant? I wouldn't call it vacant. I'd call it distanced relationship with the barber.
Yeah,
so
they want it to be transactional.
Yeah, they want it to be, that's a fantastic way to put it. They want it to be transactional. They like the barbershop atmosphere at a distance. They come in, they have a bit of fun. They laugh at me because I'm an idiot when I'm cutting hair. Do you know what I mean? And then they go. And that's great. But there's a lot of guys who come in who see me the way that, I don't know, like I imagine it's a safe haven for men. Men go to the barbershop. Okay. We take women too. We definitely, like, obviously within a certain style range, we take women too. But traditionally men it's been a place for a man to go where they can just be a man. They don't have to think about social conformity, anything like that. They just go, they get their hair cut. In our case, they come into the shop, they get a beer, they get a coffee, they get a soft drink, they get soft drink, they get a water, whatever they want. Like, and then, they sit back, they chill out and they're like, okay, here's what's happened in my life for the last 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 months, whatever it is. And they talk to you. And if there's something that you feel is pressing, you have, I don't even know how you call it. You have this kind of behind the chair, totally separate opinion to anything that they're being exposed to in their home life. And an awful lot of men go and they kind of worship that and they go for that. And when they come in, they ask us, I'm obviously not going to reveal anything now talking, but they ask for specific advice on specific things. And we give the best advice we can possibly give. Obviously, we're not counselors. So if something is a little bit deeper than what it needs to be, kind of try and set them on the right path, tell them to go and see whoever they need to see. Sometimes guys have stuff going on in their own lives that we might have experienced and might be able to help them out somewhere. simple things. It can be car loans, if they're struggling to pay back money, whatever. You can give them a bit of a mindset boost and kind of explain, money. 80% of money isn't real, so does it really matter at the back of it? Do you know what I mean? Whatever you need to say to make that person feel better, but also give them decent advice, and then they go on their merry way for another couple of weeks and come back. They might have a problem the next time, they might not. Next time they come back, they might just play a game of Crash Bandicoot or something on the PlayStation, and then disappear again. Man, don't be sleeping on Crash Bandicoot.
I'm not laughing at Crash Bandicoot. I just haven't heard about Crash in a while.
Oh my God, man. Crash Bandicoot.
Hey lad, what about Spyro?
Spyro flying around the gaff. Yeah.
Interesting what you. That is good what you just said there, man. And again, I never would have thought about barbering in that light. It can be very relationship based, but Absolutely. As well, like you guys get very, very good at dealing with people and handling different situations because you're getting such a range of clients in, and you're doing it all day. Are you working 6 days a week now?
Yeah, well, look, I'm doing 5 days in the shop. I was doing one day where I was teaching guitar lessons in a school, which is a totally different dimension of people. It's something that you don't really get to see every day, or dealing with young people on a class basis. And it's class, pardon the pun, but it is class, like, and it's a different what I'm used to. I'm used to dealing with people, and then you deal with people who are generally grown up or they're in a social conformity, and then when you're in the classroom, like young lads have just absolutely no regard for what they want to say. They just say what they think, and it's a ruthless world, but it's great. It builds thick skin. It builds better understanding of people as well. It's great. It works well for the shop as well. You go back, you can kind of just get on better with people who are that age. You've a bigger insight into what they're about than you would have if, say, I was just working in a shop all day. But I definitely think for anybody that leaves school who's even remotely like unsure of what they want to do, go and work in a bar for a year. Go and do barbering, go and work in retail. Because if you learn to read people, you're going to make, doesn't matter what you decide to do after that. If you're able to read people and you're able to handle people and situations, you're sorted.
But Aaron, but what about college?
Look, college is great for some people.
Who was it good for, Aaron? Who was it good for? Because I made a post on LinkedIn about this recently. And
what did the post say?
It didn't get too many likes, man.
LinkedIn wouldn't be exactly the best audience.
You're not looking for likes on LinkedIn, but what I said, I thought it was my perception on college, where my perception on college used to be very well. When I was in secondary school, it was like, okay, you have to go to college. College is just something that everyone does. That's what it was. I picked my college course through process of elimination, which at the time didn't seem like any big deal to me because everyone went to college, right? You have to go to college. You have to pick something. In hindsight now, that's just complete lunacy.
Absolutely.
This is what I think, and this is what I said in the post. It's that I think there's two types of college students. There's ones who are going to college because it is the done thing. And there's others who are going to college to pursue something that they have been massively passionate about for some time. They've always known they wanted to pursue it. And going to college is the best way for them to achieve that career, for them to turn that passion into a profession. And they know that going to college is the best way. So the example I gave was, doctors, engineers, even some lawyers. I had no interest in law. But I know there are people who are extremely passionate about law and they've wanted to study it for a long time. College is the right deal for them.
Absolutely, yeah.
But this whole thing of, and forget about college, just doing things in general because they are the done thing, the status quo, without becoming aware of what you actually want or what's actually suited to you as an individual is catastrophic. And I saw that, you saw that with me when I went to college. I shouldn't have been there. Just because you're a certain way in secondary school and it looks like you're inclined towards academia or you would do well at college or in a certain course, doesn't mean you should just do it because it sounds like a good idea or it's good on paper. You really need
Absolutely.
to analyze yourself. And so, like right now, I'm obviously much more self-aware than I was. And even when I left Ireland, I'm much more self-aware. But that's what happens when you throw yourself into the real world. That is a catalyst for becoming more mature and gaining experience, and again, becoming aware of what is good for you and what's not, instead of just blindly doing things because it's the done thing. But
I
Aaron,
think self-awareness.
what's your opinion on that? Because I know you took a route that is not the traditional route, but you had the confidence and the balls and the belief to back yourself and go for it.
Yeah, look, I think it kind of goes without saying, I'd always have been quite quietly rebellious. You know, people have this perception of rebelliousness and they think, oh, our man has to have red hair and scream and shout and do all of these things. I don't think that's necessarily why I did everything. I know the reason I wanted to become a barber was because I could have tattoos. And as you can see, there is no visible tattoos. So I definitely say for anybody that's coming up behind me, don't do stupid things just because you want to have tattoos. They're becoming more socially acceptable. But that was why I decided to do barbering. I thought it was cool. I styled my hair every day when I was in school. Wore aftershave, tried to kind of get in on style, which I have to say, looking at my style choices now on Facebook, I don't know where I was going. I saw a picture of myself at a galloping donkey there the other day, and it's questionable at best. Like,
man, Galloping Donkey turned 10 years old this year.
Oh,
it was
man,
I remember it was spring 2011, the first one.
That is heartbreaking.
And we were at it, man. We were at it.
We may bring it back, man. We may bring it back.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no way.
Them old Joseph jeans, sure can't be bet.
The crosshatch.
Oh, man, I had I had a pair of crosshatch shoes that Nicole made me throw away because they stayed with them, like. I thought they were savage.
Brill cream the hair down like this and then spike it up here.
Oh, do you remember that?
Lad,
that was the merging talent haircut.
Will you shift him?
You shift my friend.
Oh, well,
no, but I'll shift you, grand.
Yeah, that's the killer, man. That's the killer line.
Yeah, no, sorry. Anyway, totally off topic. Going back to that college thing, I think everybody will find their own path eventually. I think everybody has.
Will they? But will they though? I don't.
Yeah,
think,
I think they will.
I think a lot of people don't.
I think the biggest realization I've had in the last couple of months is that everybody's ambition isn't to be successful in terms of like what we would consider successful. You and me personally.
Yeah, like, well, success comes in different forms, man.
Yeah, it's like the self-actualization thing. It depends on who you are as a person, what your perception of self-actualization is. Laszlo, but yeah, so yeah, I thought I'd get you a bit, but it really does, like it's.
Let's go there. No, go
on. But no, it does. A lot of people go to college and they realize going to college that after 3 years, that's not what they want to do. Does that mean that the last 3 years of college was a waste?
No, I don't think it's a waste. I don't think it's a waste. I mean, it wasn't a waste.
When you were in college, when you were in college, we would have said, like, I definitely said it to you that what you were doing was a waste of time and it wasn't what you were into. But I definitely think
it was a very poor decision. Was it?
Yeah, but it kind of made you who you are, though.
Was it a waste of time? Look, yeah, would I be here in Mexico in real estate? Here's the thing. I think the reason why I'm here now, and look, I'm not saying that I have not made it, nowhere close to made it. I'm just in Mexico trying to start my career in real estate. I'm on the right track, but my God, I've got a hell of a long way to go in terms of achieving what I want to achieve. I think if I had played college, if I had done better academically in college, I think I would be in a job now that I don't like.
Yeah.
Possible. I think the reason I'm here, and I love being here, like the weather here is obviously great, the lifestyle here is great. I really enjoy the work, and the people that I work with are phenomenal. But I think the fact that I didn't do what I should have been doing in college, and I was kind of exploring other ideas. I wasn't doing anything productive, but I was watching, watching a lot of YouTube, exploring different things. Like, well, like college, like what can I do instead of college? What, is college required to be successful? And I came across the likes of Grant Cardone and Gary Vee and different people like that. And Grant Cardone's the one who sparked my interest in real estate from the start. So because I was focused on exploring life in general, I guess, rather than being in the library and banging out essays. I mean, if people want to do that and they're aspiring for a certain career and college is required for that, then absolutely that's what they should be doing. But for me, I think the fact that I wasn't focused on college, well, I wasn't really focused on much, man, to be honest. But the fact that I had those years where I was lost, it helped me to find myself again. That's like something out of a Instagram caption or something. We have a quote on our fridge back in Abbey Leaks and says, "Getting lost will help you find yourself."
Yeah, I think
that's. I think obviously it's like one of those, like, it's actually a quote that you would see out here in Tulum, like, oh, let's connect and let's do yoga and let's hold hands. I mean, I'm not into that, but I think that quote is actually pretty valid. Like, getting lost will actually help you find yourself, and that, I think, is probably the case with me.
I think an awful lot of the regrets people have are the risks that they didn't take. Yeah. So from a personal standpoint, at 23, which is still ridiculously young, I'm taking the risks. I'm jumping into the deep end, and I can see some stuff that I've done that I'm a bit like, do you know what I mean? Why did I do that? But at the same time, it doesn't
exist though, man. There's no point in, if you can take something from the decision, do, but there's no point in analyzing something that's already in the dirt.
People have this mad thing in Ireland of dwelling, like constantly revisiting things that they've done wrong. And it's okay to stop off there every now and again, but realistically, you can't stay going back there because you're never going to reach your destination on the other side. So I just, with that, I think everybody has decisions that they're not proud of, but I think there's an awful lot of decisions that you've made, that you've done things that you won't regret as compared to the things that you haven't done. Like with regard to college, if college is what you decide to do leaving school and that's your thing, and you're like, yeah, this is what I want to do, go and do it. Because if you find out somewhere along the line that that's not what you want to do, I'd consider that a worthwhile trip. The only time I think it's not a worthwhile trip is if you fall into the trap of going, this is not what I want to do. I hate this topic. And then you end up working in it and you hate that equally. And you're just not doing something that satisfies you.
Yeah, and I think conformity puts people into that box.
I think conformity does, but I think there's an awful lot of people now, having spent so much time dealing with people, and realize that an awful lot of people are happy with conformity. And those people have to be appreciated too.
I don't think they're happy with conformity. It could just be that they want stability. I don't think they're happy with the fact that they are doing something that the mass majority of people are doing. I think they're just someone who wants to be secure and stable. They don't want to put different aspects of their safety and security in jeopardy.
I think if a person can wake up every morning, look themselves in the mirror and tell themselves that they're okay and they're happy, irrelevant of what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's just being grateful.
That's solid.
Yeah.
Like that's what you aspire to do. Do you know what I mean? Every single day. Different people, different ambitions, different levels of what they want to do. But definitely the biggest revelation for me since going out and doing the whole self-employed thing and going and myself and Aaron becoming partners, biggest realization for me is not everybody wants hyper success. Not everybody wants to be hyper successful. Some people are just so contented to go get themselves their week's wages, come home, have their family. And that's their whole life, and that's their happiness. And they don't have to do anything crazy. They don't have to change the world. Yeah, that's actually okay.
Man, if people are genuinely happy with that, then absolutely they should do that.
This is it.
But for the people who want more,
go for
the responsibility is on them to make it happen.
Yeah, look, I'm after spending an awful lot of time in this situation where I'm dealing with people, like I say, who are happy doing what they're doing, but I'm also dealing with a mad percentage of people who are just not happy, and they have stuff that they want to do. And realistically, if you're not happy and you're not doing what you want to do, that's your fault. It's nobody else's fault. It's your fault.
You're right.
And I think there's a fantastic Simon Sinek speech online at the minute, where he talks about entitlement. Yeah. And how you devalue winners. Look, the whole basis of the speech is when you give medals for 8th place, not only do you place a value on something. I'm not being funny. If you have a race and you have a dude who walks the race, walks the 100 meters and gets a medal for 10th place, you're devaluing the person who spent hours and hours and hours running over and over and over again to come first.
Absolutely correct.
So this sense of entitlement for success, or this entitlement for progression, entitlement for dreams, and like, it doesn't work like that. So if you're sitting at home and you're thinking to yourself, I'm entitled, you're entitled to nothing.
Exactly, man. I saw
the world owes you nothing.
I saw a LinkedIn post recently, and there was this guy complaining about the lack of jobs available to graduate students, and he was coming out with this thing like, the whole post was a complaint, and he was saying that
our man is not listening to your podcast.
Jobs should be guaranteed after college.
Oh, ridiculous.
You put 4 years into college. You should be guaranteed a job when you come out of it. That is not how the market works. That's not how the real world works. And that's the type of mentality that college students get stuck into. I hate to be shitting on college students. I was a college student as well, but a lot of them are a shower of bitches and moaners.
Man, like, I'm going to be straight with you.
I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled. You're not entitled to anything unless you go out and take it.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to get at anybody specifically, but from the real world experience that I've gotten, and I've got years and years and oodles to go. If you're sitting there blaming everything else for you not being where you are, like, you're the problem.
That's it.
People need to take accountability for themselves. You can't control what anybody else does. You can only control what you do. You can only control your emotions, the way you do things, the way you act, the way you behave. It's like the way, like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson says, if you're not getting where you want to be, you have to just work on the things that you can control. So if you can be there an hour early, be there an hour early. If you can be there an hour later, work harder than everybody else. Be the hardest worker in the room. They're things you can control. So this opinion of you going, oh, not you specifically, obviously, but that person going, oh, you should be entitled to a job after 4 years of college. Why should you be entitled to a job after 4 years of college? You've taken grants from the government to live. In some cases, a lot of cases, people go and work, and that's fair enough. But you're going and you're paying for this education. And then you come out at the end and you're not guaranteed a job, and then you're giving out about it. Like, welcome to the real world. Welcome to reality. It sucks. It's not easy.
That's another reason why I didn't like college, because the way that the college system is set up, one, you're not generating any economic value while you're in college, unless you are working a part-time job or you've set up your own business.
Yeah.
By going to a lecture and studying, you're not actually contributing. You're developing your education. I mean, if you ask me anything about law right now, and I came out with a 2-1, if you ask me anything about law right now, I guarantee you I will fail every single exam below 20%. You're not contributing economically, but also the way college is set up, it does not simulate what work in the real world is like.
No.
But absolutely none of the stuff, the practices that I did in college are applicable to what I'm doing right now.
Let me tell you something.
This is uncertain, unpredictable, and you need to be constantly sharp,
Yeah.
or else you're going to sink. And whereas in college, you can just, I know that I'm going to get through if I just log a few hours in the library
This is it.
in
It's
silence.
the fact that I think with college and school, you can pass with minimal effort. You know, realistically, like I'm prime testament to that with regard to school when it comes to minimal effort. And I done well in the general population size. I done well. But to come out of school with 600 points is a massive achievement. But I think you need to have the same drive to find what you want to do and to pursue it, as opposed to driving for 600 points to settle on a course that you're not happy with. You know, you've had this mad drive for 5 or 6 years to get to this goal, and then you go and do something that you absolutely hate at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? And you're going into this stereotypical world or conformity world. And realistically, if you can just find something that you want to do and put the same effort and focus into that goal or little goals pertaining to that goal, I think you're going to be just so much happier. I don't know. I struggle to understand people, even though I spend so much time dealing with them. Like,
yeah, but one thing I'll say about you, Aaron, is the fact that you did barbering after college on the grounds that that's what you wanted to do, like that's what you genuinely want to pursue.
Yeah.
To do that at 18 takes a certain level of maturity and ambition and cojones, man. Cojones, Mexican word. You know what cojones is.
Cojones. Thank you.
You
I
know,
appreciate it.
didn't have, me personally, I didn't have that at 18.
I think your perception was different.
My perception, of course, it was different, but I came from a limited view because obviously my experiences in the world were nowhere near as much as they have been, as they are right now.
Yeah. Fair.
But yeah, man, like that, and that is, I think back on the times in life, because like when I was in secondary school, man, I wouldn't have considered myself a conformist.
No.
You know, but I look back, the most obvious example of me conforming
fell on me
is just going to college blindly, because that's anytime I did something because it was the done thing, I did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
Anytime I've ever done something, whether it's big or small, because it's the thing that's done or that's what the masses are doing, I have not enjoyed. That's just me personally. Maybe some people do enjoy it. I didn't.
Yeah, I find there's a wholesomeness to going against the grain and achieving something.
Unbelievable.
There's a
like, if I was doing the FE1s right now, I know I wouldn't be happy with it. You know, the FE1s are the law exams. I
didn't know that, but I know now.
And obviously, people who want to pursue a legal career, then that's what they want to do. That's perfect. But for me, I'm just glad that I'm here. I'm glad that I left Ireland. And I know I've shit on Ireland before.
Yeah.
I have. And do I think I'll live there long term again? No. Do I appreciate Ireland more that I've left? Yes, in some ways. No, in other ways. But it was. I'm just glad that I left, because it was me making a decision as opposed to just flowing with what was happening. It was like, no, I'm not tolerating a certain situation that I don't like, that's not benefiting me anymore, and I'm going to make a change.
You see, this is the thing. There's certain social cues which people conform to out of politeness, and that's okay. You know, like, obviously if somebody comes in and they feel good about themselves, it's not up to you if you think that for argument's sake, somebody's wearing something that you think doesn't suit them. It's not your place to turn around and say, oh, you know, I don't like that on you, and make them feel bad about themselves.
It's none of your business.
But that's it. But then when you apply the same concept to a larger scale of, right, social conformity says that I go to college, like, you have to consider your own happiness. You know, you have to make that decision for yourself. And I actually think the biggest problem with people is they're not self-aware. I don't think it's anything to do with education. I don't think it's anything to do with intelligence. I think people are not self-aware enough. They don't take the time to kind of consider things and find their passion, find what they love, like we said already, sometimes your love can be your family, your home life, your car. You know, you can have that kind of a bit. I don't want to say basic. You can have that kind of a slow flowing life form, and you can be happy. It's just not for me. And I knew from the start that like I had the self-awareness to say that's not what I'm into. I'm not into the whole go to college for 4 years, and to go and do. I knew myself. I had people around me that supported me. I had the people around me closely that I wanted. I didn't need anybody else. Because realistically, the fact that you don't need anybody else to follow what you want to do, you just have to do it. And anybody who's willing to accept what you want to do is worth having, and anybody who's not willing to accept that is just not.
Yeah, what's that quote, man? The people that matter don't care. The people that care don't matter.
Yeah, but this is it. And you have full liberty to go and remove people from your life that are not, you know, they're not helping you or they're not benefiting you in any way. If you feel that a relationship is not symbiotic in some way, or just, you know, in general, you're not getting any joy from a relationship, you have full liberty to just remove that person from your life.
Yeah, a lot of people are reluctant to do that.
Yeah, just do it. It's better. It's better off. You know, you don't need to be ruthless with people. You don't need to be unfair. You don't need to be
reactive. You don't need to yell. Yeah. You don't need to get out of sorts or
that's it. You just need to be...
You can just do it. Stay calm, stay composed, and just move on with it. Like, I find that non-reactivity is a very good signal of someone who's a high value individual.
Yeah, they
don't need to. And look, I've struggled with this in the past where I snap at times. I don't struggle well for the. I think I don't struggle with that anymore. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've done that. But yeah, like you don't if someone's pissing you off, you don't need to get pissed off.
No,
just move on.
There's definitely a concept that I've known for a long time, but realistically, Aaron Hyland is fantastic at that just non-reactivity. Fantastic at it, in a way that I'm not. You know, I understand the concept fine. Like, we've had plenty of conversations about it. If you believe something and you feel you're justified, but again,
you don't need to prove your point to somebody else.
Absolutely, you don't need to prove. Like, if you've weighed up all the information that you've made available to yourself, and again, this comes back to, don't do something just because it's conformity. Form your own decisions. And if you form your own decisions based on good education and good information, and you're solid and setting that in, you know, that opinion, you don't need to force it on other people. You just need to believe it yourself. That's all that matters. Yeah, I hear Mexicans.
You're absolutely right, man. I'm actually outside right now.
Mexicanos.
Yeah, I was in the showroom there. We got clients coming in.
Chica.
I've moved in. Well, I've moved out.
Or is it Chico?
Chico is boy. I'm going to sit down at this little step here.
Sweet.
All right.
Junior step.
What's up?
Pure step. No fade there. Pure step.
The step outside Moran's. Do you know that? Is that still there?
It's a story with the big step there. Wait.
Is the step
the step outside Moran's still flying, man. Flying and producing the absolute, like, quality sodas, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's savage stuff. In fairness now.
Man, the heat
usual heads.
It's so much, because we've got air conditioning in the room. I was just saying it's like 30 degrees out here. Look at this.
Oh man, the humidity here at the minute is ridiculous.
Crazy.
Like, I'm sat in a room here at the minute and I've got no window open because I forgot to crack the window before we started, and I'm just sweating. Pure sweat. Look at the big shiny forehead on me.
What is it? 15 degrees?
Pure shiny. Oh, I don't even know, man. It's probably like 15, yeah.
Oh, come on.
It's mad.
Man, it never gets below 20 here. Never.
Yeah?
Anytime during the year, it never goes below 20.
That's kind of cool, in fairness.
So, Shaman, you can see your reflection in the shine on my face here.
Class.
Anyway,
You're
right, listen,
class, lad.
we're going to come to the
So
end
yeah,
of
look,
this
that's
soon. One question, man. Thank you so
yes,
much for being
yes.
on here. I appreciate it. It's probably, you can probably hear the cars in the background now at this point.
Thanks for bringing me on, man.
No, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I want 2 answers from you. Mayweather, Logan Paul, McGregor, Poirier,
Sweet.
3. Who's taking the cake on both those matches?
Oh God. Better, definitely. Unless the fight's fixed, there's no excuse for Logan Paul to win that fight at all. Straight up, McGregor and Poirier is slightly different though. I think if we see a nice loose McGregor, and to anybody that watches MMA, they'll know what that means. If you see a nice loose McGregor from the start, flowing, getting his strikes in, taking his opportunities, mixing in his kicks, definitely I think he needs to mix in some kicks.
He needs to hit him with a leg kick, a high leg kick to the jaw.
High leg kick to the jaw.
Yeah, what he, I don't know if I got the terminology right there, but
Absolutely not.
what he did to Cerrone, he needs to pull that kind of stuff again.
Look, mate,
I think Poirier is going to put him away by knockout again.
You see, I think it's I don't want to say it one way or the other because each man has the potential to beat the other.
Of course.
In different sets of circumstances. I think Poirier is more structured. I think he's more disciplined in terms of training schedules.
Man, I'm going to shut up here saying yes and so because I don't know shit about MMA.
Definitely, I just think he's more structured in his preparations. I think McGregor is he's got far more flair. He's got far more raw talent. Like Poirier is the product of hard work, which is proved by the fact that McGregor came in and McGregor worked harder than Poirier the first time they fought and he put him away. Second time round, Poirier definitely outworked McGregor in the training room and he put him away. So I think with the third fight, it all comes down to preparation for both men. I know that sounds like cliche because obviously I think whoever trains better wins. But I think McGregor has always got the potential to put away Poirier when he's training properly. I don't think Poirier always has potential to put away McGregor when he's training relatively mediocre. I think in any situation with that fight, because McGregor is a special fighter, irrelevant of what people think of him on a personal note, if he trains consistently and has a good camp, he has the potential to beat 99% of people in MMA. Whereas with Poirier with the most strict of camps can beat 99%, but with a general camp, no. So it's all about preparation. I think it's do or die for McGregor in a way, in the sense that I think if he loses this, he's going to lose out on that Nate Diaz trilogy. He's not going to get, obviously, I don't think it's possible now anyway to get second Khabib fight. I think myself, after the first round, will know. And that's my prediction. 3 minutes in, if McGregor is locked up, his hands are high, rather than loose and flowing, we're going to know it's going to be a Poirier knockout. I think if McGregor's able to keep loose, check a couple of kicks at the start, I think McGregor's going to take it. And that's my prediction.
Okay, man,
no definite prediction.
We'll see what happens after the fight happens. I'm going to reference this.
Dude, because I want to be called out if we get it wrong, man. I want to be called out.
Rotten. It's who knows? Who knows, man? But
I want to get caught rotten if it's wrong.
Listen, you know, it's all about risk, man. You got to put your voice out there. Risk being wrong, risk it not going the way you want it to, but then keep going.
Absolutely, that. Keep pushing. Keep striving, lad.
Sure, Jez, that's all you can do, isn't it? That's all you can do.
It'd be better otherwise.
Yeah.
Aaron,
I appreciate your time, man. Thank you. You've gone over an hour here. Probably a sign of a good
conversation. Have we actually?
I think so. It didn't seem like that long. But man, no. I appreciate your time. And listen, I will be seeing you hopefully at some point.
In the very near future.
At some point in general.
Yeah. And look, just on that, hope we can come back and do it again a couple of months' time when everything is settled. We'll both get a bit of progression. We'll be able to talk about progression from where we're at right now to whenever that is.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds deadly. Jack, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, man. And mate, have you subscribed to the channel?
Yeah, lad. I actually don't know if I have. I think it is.
No, you better,
like
because I didn't
99.
get a notification that you did.
I'm definitely going to do it now. I thought I subscribed last week because I
Okay,
watched the podcast
okay.
last week.
Do it like all the videos. There's only going to be 2 videos so far.
Like
Leave
2
a comment,
videos.
and leave a comment on what you thought of tonight's guest.
Huh.
No, I'm talking to you, Aaron. Leave a comment on what you thought of your performance in the podcast.
I thought he was a bit arrogant. I thought he came across very badly.
Hey, look, I mean, you can't be perfect, can you? I thought that as well.
Harsh.
Anyone who's still watching right now, I assume that you've enjoyed listening to this, or else you just left it on play by accident and you came back into the room, realized it was still playing. But I appreciate any subscriptions, likes, comments on this video or the previous one and the upcoming ones. This is Outspoken. Thank you for listening, and adios from Mako.